the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN. Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
And welcome to the show. It's another edition of Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. Thank you for spending your evenings here with us on our favorite sports radio station. Any questions that you have will be answered at 321-282-1055. Here to spend the next hour speaking with you about sports, law, lifestyle, plenty of ways to interact. Go ahead and follow at Behind the Law Radio, Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform. You can ask us questions right there. Also, don't forget to watch the TV show this Sunday and every Sunday. It's Behind the Law on TV, 10 o'clock a.m. Today on the program, we're obviously going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl if you're not already sick of hearing about it. I'm sure
one more day.
I'm sure we'll have plenty to say. I also have a fantastic interview planned today with a very special person, Michelle Sprizzell of Harbor House, CEO of Harbor House of Central Florida. You're going to want to stick around for that. We'll also play Stump the Clarkie in the third segment. To my left, my co-host, good friend, Allie Mack. What's up, Allie Mack? How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Did you watch the game?
I did. It was tough.
I thought about you and all of you Patriots haters out there. I'm not trying to laugh at you or say anything, get on my soapbox, but everyone that's been in here over the last few days, like, oh, your Pats are going to get killed. Their time is up. Just want to say, look, I know it wasn't the best game. I get it.
It wasn't.
But we won. It was the sixth best Super Bowl in the history of the Super Bowl. If you want to ask me.
No, it wasn't.
It was the sixth best Super Bowl. You know how many the Pats have won, of course, right? Six. Right. So it wasn't the best of the six that we've won, but clearly the sixth best in the history of the Super Bowl. I didn't watch any of the commercials, not one.
You didn't.
I was trying to do this whole...
What'd you do?
Tweet. I wasn't tweeting myself, but I was looking at other people's tweets about the game. So during the commercials, I was like, on my Twitter.
On your tweeter?
Yeah, whatever you call it. I'm trying to get better at that.
Twitter.
So instead of watching the commercials, I was doing Twitter.
You were tweeting.
I was tweeting the whole
That's
time. So yeah, so I don't have a lot to say about the commercials. I kind of purposefully didn't want to watch them. I don't know why. No. And what I was thinking is, we're very judgmental during the Super Bowl too. Everyone wants to judge something. It's like, let's judge the halftime performance. Let's judge the teams. What a terrible game. The announcers, they stink. People are just judgmental on Super Bowl Sunday. The food at their party stunk. You know what I mean? People get judgmental on Sunday.
It's the only day of the year you can do it.
It's unbelievable to me, I would say. But I know that you have a lot to talk about as well, yes. Allie Mack. So without further ado, first of all, Brianna. Hi, Brianna. How are you?
Hey, Justin.
I have a very quick question for you, and I know we're going to talk about this later, but I just heard that I'm going to be wearing heels on Thursday.
You are?
And we're taking the show on the road?
We are.
Whoa.
Fantastic. Who's packing this up?
How'd you get roped into that?
Yeah, who's packing all my equipment?
What?
I think you are.
Who?
Oh my gosh.
Same guy that's wearing heels.
We better hire some people to
some
help
muscle.
out with that.
We need some muscle.
Brianna's here as well.
Talking about it. It's What's Going On with Allie Mack.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's going on?
Go
Happy
ahead.
Monday, everybody. Well, on What's Going On, of course, I'm going to speak about the Super Bowl. And, of course, the Pats
stupid
won.
bowl, as
Yeah,
Sophia calls it.
I almost
My
said
6-year-old
that,
calls it the stupid bowl. Daddy, it's already that time of year for the stupid bowl again?
Well, let me start off by saying it was the lowest scoring Super Bowl in NFL history.
Who won again? Remind me. Who won?
Thank you.
Who won last night?
The Pats.
Okay.
The Pats.
You know, your stupid little board that you had here all weekend. I was here on Saturday and I saw you, go Rams, go Rams. I was thinking about you. Anyway, please
thank
go
you
ahead.
for
I don't
not
want to interrupt
taking
the
it
news.
down.
Go ahead.
So, for those of you that didn't watch it, I don't know if anybody here didn't watch it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you did. So, the lowest scoring game. I was watching the first quarter, the second quarter, nothing. I think that they just did a field goal, 3 points, Rams. Wonderful. They also missed a field goal, and the Pats scored a field goal as well. So by the fourth quarter, no touchdowns.
You know who the
at all.
Rams? You know who the Rams would have tied though? Arsenal, Manchester
yeah.
City. They would have. They would have tied 3-3 against Man City. So
So they
too
did
bad they're
tie,
not
yeah.
playing soccer.
So finally, in the middle of the fourth quarter, a touchdown by the Patriots.
Yes.
Finally. Even I was cheering, only because there hadn't been
You
any.
just wanted
yeah,
something.
I
I
wanted
understand.
something to cheer for. So
You know who
okay.
you know who needed an ice bath today more than the players?
Who?
Tracy Wolfson. Did you see the interview afterwards? I mean, it was like a
didn't.
mosh pit down there. I felt really bad for her. She was trying to interview Brady after the game, right directly after the game, and it was a mosh pit. They got to do something about that.
Yeah.
That was scary.
I think they brought out security. Those two guys.
yeah,
in
but they
blue,
weren't.
were- but
I mean,
yeah.
it was scary what they were doing
Yeah,
down
she
there.
was the yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my goodness. So another thing, I don't know if it's too late. I guess it would be too late. Dunkin' Donuts is offering free coffee if the Pats beat the Rams today for $1.
Yeah.
So
Free
that's
coffee
something.
for
Free
$1.
coffee for $1. Well, offering coffee.
Okay. Okay.
I had free and then I had $1 on my notepad.
Interesting.
And then, well, hope everybody can make it out over there for the free $1 coffee, of
yeah.
course. So another thing I wanted to talk about is some of the commercials. Some of the commercials were pretty cool.
Were they?
Some of them were like really boring. I didn't understand them. I didn't understand the product, how it tied in at all. But there was one particular commercial that it was really impactful, and it was a football player by the name of Tony Harris, and she just happens to be a female.
Okay.
And it was telling a little bit about her story, the video, and it was a commercial for Toyota. She plays for the East Los Angeles College, the Huskies, and she's a defensive lineman? Defensive back. There you go.
Okay.
I wrote it wrong.
Just making up.
So she's one of the first women in history to possibly play in college football.
Okay, good.
So that's exciting,
I like that.
right?
Good deal. I didn't watch any commercials. None.
You didn't?
Nope. Not one.
Well, I don't think there's any one that was memorable other than this one, and also the T-Mobile one was pretty cool. It
Yeah.
was funny. The other ones they're just
I did watch
gone.
Adam Levine and his shirt off, and that made me very angry.
That was
Pilar is
hot.
in love with this guy.
was
She
hot.
was like dancing, all this stuff. I was like, put your shirt back on, man.
Yeah.
I was jealous, of
Did
course.
you did you hear his voice a little off, or was that me?
I don't think he sounded great, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't
really
think
don't.
but he looked
of
hot.
course. Take it easy.
Like he looked fantastic.
Chill out.
Baby, I love you if you're
Okay.
listening.
Yeah.
So-
Pilar is very into Adam Levine. But I found out that my daughter definitely does love me because she was saying, Daddy, he's ugly.
Oh,
Yeah, I like
there
that.
you go.
Because Pilar was dancing around all excited, and my 6-year-old was like,
Because-
Dad, I don't even like him. You know what? His voice, it doesn't even sound good either.
Really?
Yeah,
I was
I was
taking
like
a
that.
look at every single tattoo that he had
Of
for,
course.
educational purposes.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So it was
Whatever.
really good.
What do you think about? Are you an Adam Levine fan, Brianna, or no?
He's hot, girl.
I mean,
Just say it.
I'm a fan of good-looking men.
Okay.
Hello.
That's
whatever.
That's a heck yeah.
All right.
Got eyes, you know.
What else?
So funny. Another thing in the news is, will women be required to register for the draft? So there was an article, and that was something that I posted on our page today, and it got a lot of people talking.
Yeah.
So the Pentagon is saying that yes, they are going to, or they're considering putting women in the draft. There was a committee apparently formed for this specific issue, and the committee has a debate whether to instill a mandatory draft or a voluntary draft. So that's something that the Pentagon says that they want to keep it as voluntary, but they might incorporate females in the
Yeah. I don't
draft.
know.
So what do you think about that? I know our
I
audience
feel like
had a
I'm
lot
the
to say.
only dude in the room, and I feel uncomfortable. I don't know what to say because I don't want you girls mad at me either. So I don't know what to say.
Go with the
For
majority.
some reason, I feel like no. I feel like women should not be drafted into the military. I understand equal rights and all that sort of thing, but I don't know why. I don't feel like they should be. No.
I think that's they're very delicate subject when you're thinking about
And
that.
did
but
you notice I
wanna-
just said I don't want to talk about this, and then
Oh,
I just
okay.
spewed out
Oh, I
exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is that a bad feeling that I have? Does that
No,
make me
I
a bad
don't-
person?
No,
Okay.
that's fair. It's fair that you feel that way. so-
Very good job today, Allie Mack.
Thank you much.
That was it, right?
No, I want
Oh.
to talk about we're going
We're
to
going
be
to stick
going
around
live.
to the other side of this break to talk about the rest of Allie Mac's news. We're also going to be joined by Michelle Sprizzell, CEO of Harbor House of Central Florida. You are going to want to stick around. Plenty more ahead. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark, joined by Allie Mack. The beautiful Brianna is here as well. Also, a very special guest joins us, Michelle Sprizzell,
Hello.
CEO. CEO, that sounds great, by the way. Don't you like that? I want to be a CEO someday. She's the CEO of Harbor House of Central Florida. In all seriousness, maybe the most important nonprofit in all of our community, I would say, and certainly one of the most well-respected, right? I mean,
Thank you.
what you guys do over there is absolutely incredible. Describe exactly what Harbor House really does.
Sure. So we are the certified domestic violence center that serves here in Orange County. So when people think about domestic violence, they often think about an emergency shelter, and we have our emergency shelter, and it's an amazing program. We have on site our 24-hour crisis hotline. So if someone's going to be calling in for help, that's where our hotline is. But on site, we also have our kennel, which is basically anybody who's coming into our emergency center, they can bring their pets with them too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because animals are
know that.
often the first victim, and to have a place where someone can bring in their cats, their dogs, one, for comfort, but also for safety. Because if someone's hitting you, the likelihood of them hitting your pets is just so much higher. And so that's an amazing program.
Never even thought of that.
Yeah.
That makes very good sense.
Yeah.
I mean, does that create a huge extra burden and expense for Harbor House of Central Florida to offer the pet kennel like that, or no?
I would say the answer is yes and no. The yes would be when we have animals come in that are injured. That's going to be an expense that we incur because we want to make sure that animal is taken care of. So we've had animals who have come in with broken ribs because they might have been protecting their person, standing over their person. And then also we do a lot of preventative stuff with the animals as well. So making sure that they have all their vaccinations and getting them spayed and neutered as well, if that's something that the survivor wants.
Unbelievable. I know we have a very special event coming up this Thursday, and I know Allie Mack wanted to get back to what's going on to talk about that event.
If it's on the internet, she's talking about it. It's what's going on with Allie Mack.
What's going on? What's going on?
I love the intro.
Thank you.
I love it. So we are going to be going live in the 7th annual Walk a Mile in Her Shoes, February 7th at 5, starting at 5.
That's this Thursday.
This
Thursday.
And
Yes.
it starts at the Orange County Courthouse.
Yep, it's going to start on the steps at the courthouse, and registration's at 5, and the walk itself starts at 6.
How can people register prior to?
Sure, someone can go to our website, which is harborhousefl.com, and you can go there to register, or you can always come to the event. We're going to have registration at the event as well.
And we're going to have the one and only Attorney Justin Clark
Hey,
walking a
I'm looking
mile
forward
in
to
her
it.
shoes. So we're looking forward to that. So, Justin, do you already have your heels?
I don't. I don't.
don't.
Do they sell heels big enough for me? I mean, how
They
does
do.
this work? Okay.
They do. And
Where
I guess
should
that's
I
something
go?
we should talk about is the
At
fact
Big
that
Lots? Do they have them at Big Lots? No. Okay.
So the event itself is really geared towards men getting
Okay,
involved
right.
against domestic violence, and so people might not know why you're asking them about heels. So it is really, it's an international event called Walk a Mile in Her Shoes, and we really engage men by asking them to get out of their comfort zone and walk a mile in her shoes.
Right.
And those could be sparkly, like little slippers. I'm giving you an out.
Okay, thanks.
Or it could be or it could be a mules or platforms or like big shoes like I have on right now. And that's what it's about. It's about walking a mile in her shoes, and it's not really a mile.
Right.
In order to raise awareness for domestic violence and having men be part of that solution. I mean, the majority of violence against women is committed by men. And so when we have men like you who want to get involved and say, I'm not that type of man, and I'm going to stand up for my daughters, I'm going to stand up for my wife, I'm going to stand up for my friends, it's so important. And it's
Yeah.
really important to have allies in the movement when we're talking about violence against women. And also for violence that happens with men, it's also men seeing that there are other men who say it's not okay. Domestic violence is not okay.
So we look forward to broadcasting live
Yeah.
Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack
Absolutely.
there at the event, and feel free to stop by. And
Who all should come out to this event?
Absolutely, everybody can come out to
Okay.
it. So, I mean, it's really open to men, women, children. People are going to be there walking with their kids in their strollers, pets, of course, because we have our pet program. And it's going to be a variety of different people. One thing that I would recommend is that if you don't wear heels, you might feel like you're a little bit left out, especially if you're going to be taking pictures of other people. Just letting you know, being on the other
you don't
side.
want to feel left out, Justin. So
No, what I'm going to do is what you ladies do all the time. You wear heels, like from your car to the office, but you have like slippers under your desk. That's what I'm going to do.
Yes, you can do that. You can definitely do that. You're gonna I'm wearing these just to walk around and interview people,
Right.
but on the walk,
There
here
you
come
go.
out the glitter slippers.
I'll figure some way to
you have to bedazzle your slippers then.
Exactly. I'm very much looking forward to the event. I think it's going to be a great time.
It is.
It will
is
be.
for such a great cause. So we're really happy to be a part of it as well.
Thank you.
Anything else going on in the news,
That's
Allie
in the
Mack?
news.
That's what's
Thank you
going
so much.
on. Thank you, Allie Mack. All right, we're here with Michelle Sprizzell, CEO of Harbor House of Central Florida. It takes money to do what you guys are doing. Let's say someone's listening to Behind the Law and really haven't had much interaction with Harbor House. What are some ways that people can really help?
So I would say the first thing that people can do to help is if you want to monetarily support us, that's where amazing things can happen. We are supported by a lot of different local foundations in Orange County and some government grants, but that's all for the basic needs that we need for the shelter. So to keep the lights on and also to keep it's safe, the security and whatnot. But if we're going to be really making a difference in someone's life, then it's going to be able to provide them with more basic needs, or it's going to be able to provide them with more services. So for instance, we really want to get more of our children's programming off the ground. So this summer, we're going to be hosting our first camp. It's a trauma-informed camp called Camp Hope. And the theme is called Hope Rising. And so it's really geared towards kids that have grown up or are growing up in a home where there's domestic violence, and giving them the week-long experience of perseverance, challenge by choice, and also helping those kids understand that they can build hope within themselves. And so that's a great program for people to support, because we know if we're going to stop generational cycle of violence, we have to start with the kids. And so we're doing that program. We also have another program for our kids that we're getting started, which is more kids support groups in the emergency shelter. We have 120 bed shelter, and this past year we had right around 1,000 people who lived with us. More than half of them are kids. And then when you're looking at how many more people that is, when you're looking at the numbers, a lot of them are going to be school age kids. And then we have this grouping of teenagers. Well, it's really hard to be a teen living in a shelter. And so that's another piece of our program that we want to start to grow and build. And we have ideas about putting in like a half basketball court. We want to put in a soccer pitch. We want to build like a meditation garden in the back in order for moms and kids to go on like nature hikes and whatnot together, but do more for the teens that are living with us. And then also with the kids themselves, because everybody likes to have a place where it's safe to go and play. So those are two just off the top of my head.
For children who are in a home where there is domestic violence, where, let's just be honest, where mom or dad hits mom, I mean, how traumatic is this for these kids? I mean, at such a time in their lives where they're growing up, maturing, but seeing dad hitting mom, how traumatic is that?
So for a lot of the kids, they don't know any different. Like that's just, if you think about kids not seeing anything but that, that's their normal. And so our role with that is to really let them know that that's not the normal. And how do we teach you other skills that have to deal with conflict, and what does a healthy relationship look like? And so a lot of the programming that we're building and surrounding the kids with in our emergency shelter, and we're going to start doing through our outreach programs like the camp, is to really show that there's other ways to have a healthy argument, to set boundaries, to talk to someone in a respectful way, to feel respect, because those are things that kids aren't experiencing. And so to your point, growing up in where you're seeing violence or you're seeing a non-respectful relationship happening can take someone just completely forward for the rest of their life. It might affect all of the future relationships that that child has with a male, or if the abuser is a female, all the different relationships that they have with that female, different females. And so it's really important to us that we're able to create programming and also respect what it's like to be a kid and give them different role models to look for and different skills to take them forward.
Ray Rice, Kareem Hunt, now DeAndre Francois at Florida State. It seems that it's come out in the public eye a little bit more, where especially the NFL is trying to be a little more vocal in their punishment of these athletes that are abusers, essentially. Has that helped with the understanding for the community as a whole, or not? I mean, are you seeing any rise in just the understanding of domestic violence from these incidents?
Absolutely, because that just brings awareness. Whenever we have something, and I always, I'm going to show my age, but the whole O.J. Simpson piece, like that's what it all is. That's where it all started. And when we're talking about that, people see when there's domestic violence that is seen that broad span in the major media, that's when we start to get more phone calls of people who are like, I'm scared. This is what I'm experiencing as well. So we get that part of people who are reaching out for help. But then we also get the engagement of other people saying that people have to be held accountable. And I think when we're talking about the NFL and when we're also talking about sports teams, what is powerful in that to me is the fact that it's men holding other men accountable for something that they feel shouldn't be happening. And that's also when that accountability happens. And that's what I think what we're still struggling with is, what does that accountability look like? Is it they're cut from two games versus, they had to pay a fine, or they're making a donation to a domestic violence center. Like, what does that accountability look like? And I think we're still working through, as far as a community and society, what does that look like at that level? But to your point, yes, whenever we're seeing a big domestic violence case in the media at that level, it's people who are going to be reaching out for help, and then also people who are saying that that's unjust and we have to do something.
In 30 seconds, is domestic violence only physical, or can domestic violence be emotional as well?
Absolutely. Domestic violence is emotional. It's spiritual abuse. It's economic abuse. It's going to be psychological abuse in addition to physical. Yeah. And that's the thing that's hard. And when you're talking about, when we're talking about kids and we're talking about growing up in a home, it's the emotional and psychological that is so much harder for someone to grow past and feel safe, because the physical violence that will heal, but it's the intimidation that takes a long time to be able to heal from. Or it's going to be the person who has told you for every day, nobody's going to want you, you're not worth anything, you're not going to get any better than me. And then people start to really get that chipped away at their self-confidence.
It's terrible. 321-282-1055. Plenty more ahead with Michelle Sprazel, CEO of Harbor House of Central Florida. We'll also play Stump the Clarkie all right on the other side of this break. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the program, another half hour of Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. If you have any questions, 321-282-1055. Follow at Behind the Law Radio. You can watch the show right there, or you can watch Behind the Law on TV this Sunday and every Sunday on TV 27 at 10 a.m. To my left, my good friend co-host, Allie McCarroll. Allie Mac, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
To my right, very close to me, the beautiful Brianna. Hi, Brianna. What's up? Did you actually watch the
shoulder
game?
to shoulder.
Because last time you were threatening to not watch the game. Did you watch it or no?
I did watch the game up until I think halfway through the second quarter. I gave up.
That's not really called watching the game,
You
first of
know?
all.
Well, first of all, it wasn't a game. Give me a game to
Okay,
watch. I'll
whatever.
watch it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Did I even ask you?
Yes,
Never mind. Big Pats win. Everyone in the room doubted me.
we were.
Doubted my boys.
Yeah.
Good
was
job,
just-
Do you
Patriots.
think Tom Brady's about to retire?
No, he's not retiring.
No.
I think Gronk will, but Brady's not retiring.
They asked him that, I think, last night.
Gronk?
And he says he doesn't want to give an answer right now. He wants to celebrate it with his team
Yeah.
and let some time pass, and then he'll be.
Very special
know.
guest joining us today, Michelle Sprazel, CEO, Harbor House of Central Florida, one of the most well-known, certainly most well-respected nonprofits here in our community. Really, what you guys do over there for the victims of domestic violence is second to none. And just from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much. Let's say someone's listening right now, and they are the victim of domestic violence, and they just really don't know what to do. They don't know who to call. They don't know really who to trust at that point. How do they reach out to you guys?
Sure, there's a couple different ways that actually 3 different ways that someone can reach out to us. The first one would be to call our emergency hotline, and I can give that number. It's going to be the statewide number. It's 1-800-500-1119, and there's advocates that are going to be on the other side of that. They are speaking English. They're going to be speaking Creole, Spanish, whatever it is that someone might need. And if we don't have that, we can get them in touch with someone who can speak another language. And that's strictly 24 hours and confidential. So someone can call and they don't have to give their name. They can just give the circumstances. It can also be someone who is a loved one who is worried about or fearful for someone that they care about. And they're just checking in to see, is this domestic violence? What do I do to help them? How can I help them escape or safety plan? We also have our website, which is harborhousefl.com. And someone can go there to find out more about domestic violence. They can send us an email through there. And we also have what we call an escape button on our website so that someone can go to our website, they hit the escape button, and our website is completely deleted from their computer and their cookies. So if an abuser is monitoring their activity online, that's going to be something that they won't be able to find, which is fantastic. And a lot of people reach out to us via social media. So we get some people who might be reaching out to us via our Facebook page by sending us an instant message, and we have an advocate there that will be able to help them or give them a special email address in order for them to reach an advocate that way.
Beautiful. And in honor of Harbor House of Central Florida today, let's do a Stump the Clarkie in honor of you guys. How's
Okay.
that? Do you like that idea?
All right, and now it's time for Stop the Clarkie. Come on, Clarkie. We need you to get over here. We got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarkie. Get over here.
Brianna, what is the category today?
Drum roll.
You will be surprised to know.
Patriots football?
It's definitely not about Patriots football, but it is about domestic violence. We need to be informed.
We do.
And I want to know how you're going to do about these numbers.
So 4 questions. It'll be me versus Michelle versus Allie Mack. Who's going to win today? Question number 1.
Question number 1. According to the National Domestic Violence Hotline website, how many people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States?
In the U.S.
How many people per minute are physically abused in the United States?
Oh, I thought you were going to give a lifeline or something.
No, that's it.
No. All right, no hint. That's fine.
Lifeline is me breathing.
Tough question, but all right. Go ahead with question number 2.
All right, question number 2. How many children worldwide have been exposed to domestic violence in their home? How many children worldwide have been exposed to domestic violence in their homes?
This is worldwide?
Worldwide. I know. I mean, you're thinking about kids, 2, 3, 4 to a household, so you're not counting homes, we're counting children. Michelle, are you squinting over there? What did you?
It's helping me think.
Okay.
All right, question number 3.
All right, this is a good one. How many recorded days of paid work each year are lost due to domestic violence issues?
How many days?
Where's my
in
purse?
The US
Like all these
or
answers
total?
are in my
Oh,
purse.
really? Yeah, throw it over that way, please.
Yep, how
Hey,
many?
say that one more time, will you? By the way, you're playing Stump the Clarkie here on Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Michelle Sprazel, CEO of Harbor House of Central Florida, Allie Mack, Justin Clark. Go ahead, Brianna. One more time. Question 3. What was that?
Yeah, how many recorded days of paid work each year are lost due to domestic violence issues?
In the U.S.?
In the U.S., yeah.
US.
That'd be in the U.S. In the U.S. Gotta verify.
Yeah.
That dictates how many zeros
Worldwide?
you about to add. All right, and the final question of this segment of Stump the Clarkie. As of October 2018, how many domestic violence shelters and safe houses are available in the United States? How many shelters or safe houses are available in the United States? As of October 2018, they did a census count back then.
It's all numbers today.
It's all numbers.
All numbers.
I think it's always all numbers.
Yikes. I don't know. I don't know how I'm doing today on this, but it's certainly good information. Are you guys ready to score this game?
Ready.
All right. Brianna, question number 1. What was it?
Question number 1. How many people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the U.S.?
Let's go to Allie Mack first. Allie Mack, what did you say?
I say 10,000.
10,000 per minute.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Sprazel, what did you say?
I answered it with another fact.
Uh-oh. Go ahead. That's fine.
That every 90 seconds, someone worldwide loses their life.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Every 90 seconds.
Every 90 seconds.
Wow.
Yikes. I said 54 per minute.
Okay.
What is the correct answer?
Just by default, 23?
Okay, 23.
Per
So, I think we're going to give Michelle credit for that, though, because of the unbelievable information. I mean, that's
That
scary
is-
stuff right
it
there.
is.
That is really, really scary stuff. All right, we'll give. I think Michelle and I will share that point. How is that?
How about she? You don't get the point?
But I was closest.
He
though.
was closest, technically.
So we're going to go
Probably
1-1-0.
cheating.
Question number 2, Brianna.
Okay. Question number 2. How many children worldwide have been exposed to domestic violence in their homes?
Now, this was hard because when you think worldwide, I mean, that's scary. Justin Clark will go first. I said 800 million
Okay.
people. Allie
I
Mack?
said 500 million.
500 million?
500,000.
Wow.
500,000.
500,000. She was going to add some zeros. Michelle, what do you have?
I did a range. I said 5 to 9 million.
Okay.
Okay.
So what was the answer, Brianna?
So Allie Mack will win this one. It's 275 million.
Only if I would have said million.
She
said
1,000.
500,000.
So actually, yeah.
I almost added it.
Sorry,
I think
two.
Michelle wins.
What did you say, Michelle? I forgot.
I said between to 5 to 9 million.
Yeah, she went.
And what was the answer?
275 million. No, I think you win.
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
2-1-0.
How did that happen?
See, mine must just be the United States.
Just keep adding zeros, Allie Mack. That's how he keeps winning. You got to just keep adding zeros.
Question number 3. We got a minute left. Brianna, go ahead.
How many recorded days of paid work each year are lost due to domestic violence issues?
I said 1.2 million days lost. Allie Mack, what did you have?
100,000.
100,000. Michelle Sprazel.
I went general. I said thousands.
Thousands. Yep, probably. What was the right answer?
8 million.
8 million.
8
Oh my
million
goodness.
recorded days are lost.
We got to do some
Yeah.
more zeros.
All right, and lastly, question number 4.
How many domestic violence shelters and or safe houses are available in the United States?
All right, Michelle, what did you go with?
I just went with Florida because there's
Okay.
42 domestic violence centers in Florida, and I know that
beautiful.
we're well funded here in
Yep.
Florida.
That's
but I don't
great.
know.
There would be.
Allie Mack, what do you say?
I said 250,000.
250,000. I went with 2,400.
2,081.
2021.
I promise you.
Too many zeros.
I'm not cheating.
enough
I
zeros.
promise you.
I
But,
cheated.
Of course you're not.
yeah, that's okay. Well,
I cheated. I know the Florida facts.
Yeah, we
The worldwide one, I was like, what?
oh. All right. I'll
Great answer. That's the way
Thank
to go.
you
That's the
very
way to
much,
go.
Fulton Allen. We will be right back. Plenty more ahead with Michelle Sprazel, CEO of Harbor House of Central Florida. We're going to tell you how you can help this amazing charity. And we want you to come join us this Thursday for a very special event. We'll talk to you more about that right on the other side of this break. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
One final segment ahead of a very special show. Michelle Sprazel is here, Harbor House of Central Florida. She's the CEO. If you have any questions, give us a call, 321-282-1055. Watch the show at Behind the Law Radio. Michelle, first of all, thanks for being here. Thanks for all that you do.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tell
here.
me more about this event, Allie Mack or Michelle, whoever. This event that I'm going to Thursday. Who should go? When is it? What's it about?
Sure. The event's going to be this Thursday, and it's starting off at the courthouse that's down on Orange Ave. And it starts off at 5 o'clock with registration. The event itself starts off at 6. And the event is a really good creative fundraiser, not fundraiser, but awareness. And it's awareness around domestic violence and getting men involved in the cause. And what's fun about it and what's different about it in Quirky is that we really encourage men to come out and wear high heels and walk a mile in her shoes. And so that's the fun part of it. There's also a lot of education and solidarity that goes along with it too. So last year we added placards where we asked people, why do you walk? And with that, there are different people who start to see that they're walking what they have in common. So they're walking for their mom, they're walking for their sister, they're walking for their brother. And just to have that solidarity and for people to know that they're not alone, that they are childhood survivors of domestic violence. There are people who are going through it themselves, and there are people who have come out on the other side. And so we're there to celebrate all those different people as they're on the journey to be safe and violence-free in our community.
Now, is it just only in the Orange County courthouse, or do you guys go over to Dr. Phillips?
So we're starting at the courthouse. Great question. We're starting at the courthouse, and we're walking down Orange Avenue,
that's what I thought.
and we're going to finish at the SunTrust building.
Okay.
It's a Hamilton night, so we're not finishing at Dr. Phillips.
I heard something about this Hamilton.
Yeah, though that would be pretty fun.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
be walking in our shoes.
Yeah.
And people will be dropped off, in their best.
So are the streets going to be blocked off, or is just...
Yeah, we're going to be closing down half of Orange Avenue while we're doing the event.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So where should people park, just in case they want to come out and aren't too familiar with downtown?
Sure, there's a lot of street parking that's going to be available, so they can still park on Orange Avenue while everything's open. There's going to be parking in the courthouse parking lot, but you will have to walk back to the courthouse if that's where you park. So you just have to walk around. You have to park and know that you have to walk in both directions. Yeah, because you can also park down by the SunTrust building in that parking lot as well, and then walk up.
Unless you Uber.
Or you
Yeah,
Uber,
there
or
you
you
go.
take one of the...
A rickshaw, or
Yeah.
just wear flip-flops.
Well, exactly. How do you think that the court system, at least in Central Florida, is doing when it comes to no contact orders, restraining orders, whatever people know them as? I mean, how do you think we're doing? Because I think that's an important tool, obviously, if someone's feeling their life threatened or feeling threatened in any way. How do you think we do here in Central Florida?
So I would have to say, and that's a great segue, we have 2 court programs. And so we have an office on the 8th floor of the courthouse, which is awesome. And there we have 4 attorneys, and we also have court advocates. And so for an injunction for protection is what people will be filing here in Florida in Circuit 9. And What's really important about the program that we have is that we have advocates who are able to help people as far as what paperwork do they fill out and making sure that they get wraparound services like peer counseling, support group, access if they are being financially abused, access to our economic empowerment program, ticket housing, and then we also have our attorneys. So we also have people who can sit down with you, help you fill out the injunction paperwork, but also represent you. And with that, I would have to say in that program, we're seeing a lot of success as far as people who are getting lifetime injunctions, getting stalking injunctions as well. And those can be life-changing when it comes to someone who's had years of abuse and they're trying to get away and they need this extra layer of protection. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, though, it is a piece of paper. And so that's the other thing is that it's part of that overall safety plan that we talk to survivors about, that it's not just this one piece that the court can help out with, but it's we ask people, please do this, but then here are all these other services that you can get access to.
Describe the scene for me. And let me preface this question with, someone is getting, or they're the victim of domestic violence, and they're at their house, and they've seen hurricanes come through, and then they've seen the cots at the elementary school gym or something like that, and they're like, I know I need help. I know I need to go somewhere. What is it really like once I enter Harbor House?
I've been doing this for a while. No one's actually asked me that question. So
because I think that is
question.
What goes through people's head. They don't want to be in a cot at the local middle school.
Absolutely. So no, it's a home. I mean, that's what we have. And so when you think about coming to Harbor House, someone will come in and we'll give somebody a welcome kit, which includes shampoo and conditioner, sheets, pillows, towels. And then we take them to their new room, and we might take mom and their 2 kids, or we take dad and his kids, because we are a co-ed shelter. If we have an abused, a man who's being abused, he can come into our emergency shelter as well. And we have single rooms, and then we have what we call suites. When someone comes into a suite, you think about like a Residence Inn, where you have this waiting area with a couch and a table, and 2 different sitting areas. And then we also have bedrooms that are bunk beds. And so it's going to be a double on the bottom and a twin on the top. And we will have 2 bunk beds in each one of the rooms. And so if someone's coming in, they can take some people might take the entire room because their family's that big. Or we might have a mom and a child that's staying on the bottom bunk. In our single rooms, we call them our new and expecting moms. So we do have women who are pregnant who come in, or they might be pregnant, go to the hospital, have a baby, and come back into emergency shelter. And so we want to be able to give them some space that's a little bit more private so that they can nurse and wake up in the middle of the night with their baby. And so that room would probably look like 1 bunk bed with a queen on the bottom, twin on top, and then room for a pack and play or cribs and things of that nature. We also, within the emergency shelter, we have 2 kitchens. People cook for themselves, and so that's something else, is that people are going to be cooking their own food. We provide a lot of the food, but also we encourage people to go out and still go shopping and get the things that you want and that you need. We have a large common area, which is our dining space. We also have laundry rooms that are there that are common space. We have a beautiful backyard, and that's where we have some of the things that we want to add, like the basketball, and then also the soccer pitch and the meditation garden and the walking path. And so it really is. It's a home. It's a really big home. And it's one that's incredibly safe, where we have lots of different security measures, lots of cameras on the outside, and then you have special keyed access in order for people to get in.
Unbelievable. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Michelle Sprizzell, CEO of Harbor House of Central Florida. Allie Mack, go ahead.
How long can
someone stay?
Can someone stay there,
Sure.
and how long is it needed? I mean, do they have a specific time frame where you guys say this month, this much time, you guys are,
it really depends on the
allotted?
person. Sometimes someone comes in for just a short amount of time. They might be in and out in just a handful of days. But our normal length of stay is 12 weeks. And we have case managers that work with people the minute they come in. We sit down with them. We'll do a lethality assessment. We'll do what is your case plan in order, what is it that you need? So do you need an injunction? And we'll do a referral in-house to one of our lawyers. Are you looking for housing? And then we can refer them in-house and just have them meet with our economic empowerment advocate. Or it might be something a little bit more complicated where they need an immigration lawyer, and we're going to connect them with someone who's going to be able to help them with that. And it all just depends on what's happening with that person. And so everybody who comes in, we give them their own individual attention and their own individual plan. And then what's great is that we're able to then, when someone's leaving emergency shelter, and they're going into some different type of housing, we have our outreach program so we can really hand them and do a very warm handoff if they want to continue to receive services from Harbor House to go from shelter into their own home and then still receive services within our outreach program.
Why do people stay? I mean,
Yeah, that's a great question as
you know, they know they should leave. They know they shouldn't be getting treated that way, but why do we stay?
So there's a lot of different reasons. They might be staying because of the kids. They might be staying because financially they can't afford to go anywhere else, and they can't afford an apartment on their own. They can't afford the car. They can't afford to send the kids to school or even to get them to school. One of the reasons why some people stay is because they don't know that we accept pets and that they can come in with their pets, and so they don't want to leave their pets behind. And there's a lot of different reasons why. And then oftentimes someone doesn't want to leave because they love the person, but they want the abuse to stop. And so they're trying to wrap their head around, how can I get them to stop abusing me because I love them? And that's another dynamic that comes into with domestic violence is that sometimes when we have it working with a survivor, she doesn't see her abuser as evil. She doesn't see that person as bad. The kids don't see that person as evil or bad too. They love them. There's this aspect of their relationship that is incredibly wrong and they want it to be fixed.
Isn't that a syndrome, battered women syndrome, where they love their abuser, but they can't, they can't seem to live without them at the same time?
So I would have to say that I wouldn't call it a syndrome, that it's just something that goes along with someone who's in a domestic violence situation sometimes.
This is a very special show for me, by the way. I don't normally say that. I can't thank you enough for coming.
Thank you very much.
It just is a very, very special thing that you guys are doing, and we really appreciate it. One more time, if I'm listening right now and I know someone who I know is being abused, and I want them to reach out to Harbor House, how do we do it?
Sure. You can call us at 1-800-500-1119, and that's the statewide crisis hotline. You can call us there, or you can come to our website, which is harborhousefl.com.
Michelle Sprazel, CEO, Harbor House of Central Florida. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you very much,
Of
and thank you
course.
for supporting us and coming out on Thursday.
My pleasure. I look forward to it. For
Yeah,
the
it's been
beautiful
great.
Brianna, Allie Mack, good job today. And I don't know much, but I do know one little thing.
What's that?
This was a very special show, and
was.
I will see you right back here tomorrow night, 8 p.m., ESPN 580 Orlando.